The creek isn't flowing as much as it used to, but it's certainly nice to have. So there's the clubhouse in the background up there. This is a turbine project I'm gonna do this summer. That way I can produce power when the creek's running and there's no solar. You can see the ceiling in the porch area. Bunch of pallets we stapled up there. Looks pretty good. This is my tool area. There's a motorized window covering I put to cover it up when it's not in use. And then around the front, a couple pallets to make it look nice and spiffy. And then old World War II aircraft ladder up to the rooftop deck. And then to the right is the bike garage. We have a few bikes. And then to the right of that are all my outdoor tools, such as my hedge trimmer, leaf blower, chainsaw, things of that matter. I built this wood shop structure all out of things I scavenged for free. Got my vise. There's all my firewood for my stove. Lots of 2x4s. And a heavy-duty 12-inch miter saw that gets used pretty frequently. And then behind the woodshed is my pipe storage. There's a bunch of bags of concrete that are covered up and a large pile of shingles that gets used pretty quickly. I go through a lot of pallets, so I always keep some at the ready. This is our compost area. The cycles that we have are fresh stuff goes in here, not as fresh stuff goes in there. Like this one I just built yesterday, and this one should be just about full. Yeah, so if we put things directly in there, all the squirrels and wildlife will eat it all before it composts. And then once it breaks down from there, well, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, and then it goes to the garden. In the tool area, still have the same toolbox, a couple sawzalls, battery storage, other tool storage, lots of tools. Washing machine I'm gonna rewire for some good old hydroelectric. So coming around the outside, not a lot has changed. Here's the porch area. Got some nice LED lights. Shoe storage. Gretzky. We hiked the PCT together. This is the open porch area. It's a nice setting out here. Currently no tires on the house because I picked up a camper and had to use them. Here is the bathroom area. It's hooked to the house septic tank, which is really handy. However, you can only pee in it. Long story. There's the vent pipe. And then going inside, we have a couch in the living room, which is a nice upgrade. In the last video, I was only here basically by myself, and now my wife lives here now with me. Got a TV, a bigger countertop, nice closet area, Gretzky's drawing on our wall. In the loft area, we have a queen size bed, which is quite the upgrade from the last video. Lots of books, because we like to read. A Wi-Fi extender, so you get Wi-Fi in the housey. Lots of window coverings I got for free from a job I had recently. It's really nice to have some privacy. Yeah. One on that window. And we have a light in the loft area, which is nice. And then here's another window covering as a room divider. A newly installed LED light. There's a few of them in the house. I highly recommend having lots of lights in your house, because this was not cutting it. I added, I think, 6 new lights to the house. There's another, and they're on dimmer switches to set the mood. Also got a new fridge. It ran on propane when I purchased it, and I bought a compressor upgrade kit so I can run it directly off the batteries now. It's well worth the money. And then storage on top, storage down below, and more storage. These all slide out. Same sheep rug and maple flooring from the previous video. Also have the same copper handles. One of the biggest deals with having true 3/4 hardwood flooring in a tiny house that's mobile is having separation, and I was very religious about putting lots of glue on every single seam and lots of staples, and I think that's why I haven't had any separation issues. Here's kindling for the fireplace. Here's what it looks like after lots of use of 4 years or so. Storage up above. My cherry pantry area had termites in it, and so I had to build a new shelf area. No matter what I did, the termites would not come out. New copper sink and faucet. Underneath the counter is a lot different now too. I have an electric water heater, which is really nice. And all the juice. Compost bin. This place we're staying has a well pump that's a hand pump and has the tastiest water. We really lucked out, considering how hard, no matter where you live, to get clean water. It's never guaranteed. Lots of fruit. A week's worth of bananas. Get off my lawn! Bunch of freeloaders. Anyway, my wife painted the door because she said it looked kind of dilapidated, which she was not wrong. And in this storage area, my wife and I built some batteries that took us a few months to make, and it's quite the upgrade from the flooded lead acid batteries. So, this is a 4,000 watt inverter that runs on 24 volts. These are 2 sets of batteries that run in series of 7 and then wired in parallel. There are 80 cells in each one of these packs, and you can see green blinking lights on each one of these sticks that's wired up to this control board that makes sure that all of the batteries are the same voltage, and if one of the batteries gets either too high or too low, which can be a real issue with lithium, because something called thermal runaway could happen, and it's very, very bad. And so it'll trip this breaker that's a 400 amp shunt trip breaker, and that way you don't destroy your batteries. Here is my breaker panel. Custom wall paneling. And then here's some venting. Whenever the inverter's getting used a lot, it'll kick out some heat. I have so much solar coming in that I only have to have about an hour of solar in the morning, and they're just about topped off. The low battery cutoff is around 23 volts, and I have yet to see that anytime recently because there's so much solar here. Also, my wife made some cushions and some pillows to make it a little bit more comfortable than just bare wood. And also, she likes to have plants. Makes it feel nice in here. PCT puzzle. Also, here's how much the house actually weighs. I took it by a certified truck scale, and my truck empty weighs 8,000 pounds. I know that because I pick up gravel quite a bit. So the house weighs actually more like 16,000 pounds. And so it was pretty heavy coming all the way from North Carolina to Oregon. I had quite the hills to come over. My trailer axles are rated at, I think, 5,000 pounds a piece. And so, as you can see, it was running a little heavy on the trailer axle. My truck had quite a bit of weight on it, as you can see also. About 4,000 pounds in the bed of the truck just from the hitch weight. The house is heavier than I anticipated, but we made it, and the truck is still in one piece. So now for the sunroom area. My wife did a great job painting the door. She's done a lot of projects on the house, which has been really nice. We got rid of the propane stove. We have nothing that runs on propane anymore, just because we generate so much solar. And so it's good to utilize that. I save about $1 a day on solar just because I switched my fridge from propane to electric. I was using a lot of propane. The ceiling in here had a lot of mice living in it, so I tore it all down, and it'll be a future project to redo all of the ceiling. Here is the recycling center. Got a very nice heavy-duty vacuum. Lots of cans. Jars for canning. This used to be 2 big batteries, and I am so glad I got rid of those lead-acid batteries. I highly recommend, unless you're starting an engine, not to go with lead-acid batteries for any reason other than starting an engine. They're just very, very inefficient for any kind of off-grid use. Here's my solar charge controller, just humming away. Only 630 watts of solar coming in right now. During peak times, I'll have 2,000 watts. Couple battery chargers. Apron for cooking. Mouse-proof trash can. Very exciting addition is the toaster oven. That is very nice. When I first arrived here, there were several trees that were old and rotten, dead, and leaning towards the house. So I had to take them down as one of the first projects. That stump right there is what I turned into the log bridge. Down to the log bridge. Over Log Creek. And then here's a log walkway. Here's my pallet clubhouse. The kids seem to be enjoying it quite a bit. As you can imagine, it didn't cost a whole lot to build, and the kids are enjoying it. And here's my latest project. It's a water cistern. Should be about 5,000 gallons. It'll have a roof on it to keep the UV sunlight out of it so it doesn't turn into a pond as quick. Also, I've been filling it up for less than a day now, and it's getting filled up with the ram pump that's at the lowest part of the property. It's doing a pretty good job. Also, here's my wife's garden terrace project. It's taken a lot of work. Also, how many different roof lines do you see right now? It's quite a few. Here's my solar panels set up. And here's a chicken coop I built out of pallets recently. It's got a sliding pallet door. Still needs to be finished. Hardy, who's a good boy? So that's about it. Hope you enjoyed.